Okay. My name is Trisha Del Barrio. I'm a third-year psychology major with a minor in education. I'm running for treasurer, and the reason why I'm running for treasurer is because I guess being active in Kababayan for the past 3 years has definitely cultivated my passion for Kaba. And this past year alone, being on board has definitely helped me to grow individually and also as a leader. And if elected, I would want to continue my legacy of ensuring that Kababayan stays in the green, which was a personal goal of mine that I've had since I was last year's POC.
Hi, my name is Gabby Castro. I'm a fourth-year public health and dance double major. I came to Cabo my first year, just kind of coming in and out with homemates, and honestly, I was pretty lost culturally where I wanted to spend my time, and it ended up becoming something that people took me under their wings and really introduced me to what Cabo was, which is a really true and honest family. And ever since I got the opportunity to be an intern and see what Cabo Board was, I wanted to give back and be able to inspire the future generations to understand what a family is in Kababayan and leave a legacy for the future generation.
I'm Thomas Dunn. I'm a second year. I'm a psychology and social behavior major. I came out to Cabo my first year, but I wasn't involved. I didn't really like it until after Packin. I became closer, and then this year I was pretty active. It's become a family to me. And even though I'm not even Filipino or anything, I find all of you to be my family. And I'm running treasurer just as a way to instill to further Kaba in my own ways.
So the treasurer keeps Cabo in the green, as Trisha mentioned earlier. It keeps all of the programs funding and works alongside with Packin. But I also see treasurer as more of a leadership role. You're part of exec board. You help lead other board members as well as the general members of Cabo, and I think that's a really important quality to make sure you maintain as an exec board member.
For treasurer, I just keep Cabo in green. So the main thing I'd say is being strict. It's being strict on yourself, making sure you get funding for the events that Cabo hosts, and it's also strict on the people who host these events to make sure they don't go over budget.
For mine, I would definitely stay responsible because I know that it takes a lot of work and a lot of tasks seem kind of tedious, but I guess that it's more like you wanting to being dedicated and committed to your job and I guess working hard at it and continuing to keep Cabo green and making sure that everything's, I guess, on top of everything.
I would make sure that other events are more properly funded and not properly funded not only through Cabo's own money but through other organizations' money like SPFB, TGIF, MPC, and those funding boards. And so by hopefully saving money from those events, I would spend that money towards Gala and also just have more fundraisers.
Since Packin is a very expensive production, I guess one way that we could ensure that all other programming is also fully funded, similar to what Thomas said, making sure that we get fully funded by other MPC, SPB, and also I want to really work closely with BMC to create a new and effective way of making sure that all funds for Packin is I guess, I don't know, under control or
Okay, I think that there's lots of ideas that are out there from other organizations on campus that we can learn from. I know some suggestions have been a sponsorship program, so we could get sponsors from alumni. I mean, a lot of the alumni that have been around have companies and organizations that could possibly help fund. And so doing sponsorships and getting fundraisers that the general members are more willing to come out to so we get good funding.
I think in order to fairly distribute the money fully, I definitely think that being more realistic with numbers and I guess definitely maintaining a certain budget for each programming and making sure that not one program has like more money or more attention it goes towards it.
Program that Kaba takes a part in should be equally worked towards, so fundraising should be equal for those, and I know some are more expensive than others, but that just means like the type of fundraiser should change according to how much money we're needing to allocate, and also going through other programs to help get extra funding.
For me, I think that the attendance for each program would make me focus on the event more. So for Packin, it's the biggest event, and if we didn't get the funding for that, that'd be like the hugest loss Kava has faced. And so I would place my attention towards events that a lot of people go to.
Okay, well, I mentioned earlier going through sponsorship, so having people who see, I guess, future of Kaba and see what we're doing here, try to get them to help fund us for our big events, as well as not only like food fundraisers, but trying to find other types of fundraisers. Like Lisa brought in Threads of Hope, and it also gives back to our community while giving us money as well. So I feel like trying to find more fundraisers like that to incorporate into Kaba.
Similar to Gabby, I try to find sponsorships, and one I'm thinking of is similar to Pass, where they have their discount cards, and so I was hoping we would have one of our own, and I also hope to work with Coalition to work with Alianza in order to have a block sale similar to what happened a few days ago, where we could also support each other.
Similar to what everyone just mentioned, I definitely think that the sponsorship packets this year for like Packin and KabaCon really made a difference. So I think having one specifically just for Kaba, like implementing it right away in the beginning and reaching out to the greater community would, like any help would be great.
So I would personally, I would pay the amount to the Rondalia and all that personally, and make sure that that Kaba was reimbursed through SPFB or MPC or Dean's Fund, and through that, I'd make sure, I'd have to make sure personally that we do get funded, so I get funded back.
Taking into consideration the fact that that's a lot of money, that we're short of, but definitely trying to stay calm at first and trying to find other means to find it, as in like going into the S account, hopefully we still had money if we were fully funded, or like taking money from the cash box, or like I guess allotting it accordingly and managing, I guess, where the money goes towards, like which needs to be paid off first, I guess.
I think starting off from before it even happened, making sure that we are allocating the proper money to the proper funds, I guess, making sure we have that money saved away. But if we were in that situation, like Trisha said, just really trying to find all the different resources that we have available to us, and not necessarily taking it all from one place, but separating it out so we're taking it fairly from each resource.
Okay. Not me trying to like suck up to Micah or anything, but I definitely think that Micah did an amazing job this year. Seeing how working closely with her, and like seeing how she was like strict with the budgeting, and how I really liked how she made Kaba more visible on campus, doing like the corned beef sliders, and like so I definitely think that she did a wonderful job. But the one thing I'd probably critique was maybe being more realistic in numbers or goals, I guess you could say.
One thing I compliment Micah on this year is that she's been strict in a productive way, I guess. She's really trying to make sure that like people don't try to get away with not turning in their money or not fundraising, not doing whatever. I think that me personally, I would like to follow in her footsteps, but each person has their own individual way of working. So incorporating more of like a leadership position as well into Kaba, as well as maintaining that tough position of being strict and on money.
Okay, what I like that Micah did was that the fundraisers were successful, and they had a lot. And the one thing I don't like is that we could have gone to TGIF, which is another funding board, for funding for part of packing for costumes, which other funding boards don't really fund. Yeah.
I think starting from the very beginning, if members are really concerned starting with general membership payments, that clearly states that like they're going to have trouble down the road. So having the option to come up at the very beginning and discuss maybe doing a payment plan, but not a payment plan where you're paying back later, because obviously CABA needs the funding also, but starting early and starting that payment plan towards our future programming maybe could work for them.
So for the general membership, which is $20, 15 to 20. That's just really hard because that's not a huge amount. That's a big, like, it's an amount, but it's not like a huge, just comparing popcorn and others. For packing, I would make it more reliant on UCI and other sources that we can get to hopefully lower the amount that individuals have to fundraise themselves.
Like I mentioned previously, I know that packing is a really expensive event to like host every year, but I definitely think that starting from the beginning, reaching out to the greater community, creating sponsorships, doing anything you can, like finding as many resources as you can to help lessen the overwhelming burden of, I guess, payment plans. Payments in CABA, and definitely if they feel like they can't afford it, finding any way to help them personally.
That sometimes if I don't work well with others, I feel like I would try to take control and just make sure the job gets done, which doesn't really help the whole like getting along with other board members, and like that's something I would have to do because I have to work with others that are planning the events. But
I would say my weakness is delegating tasks. Personally, I feel like if I could do it, I would do it, and I wouldn't really like necessarily, I guess, hand others the work or delegate it to me, which puts the burden on me. So I feel like this year I've learned to improve it, and my way of addressing it would definitely be, I guess, being more open, trusting to other people.
I think one of my biggest weaknesses that I would have facing board is that I want everything to be enjoyable for everyone else. So I want to make programs that everyone enjoys. I want to make sure there's good attendance. I want good feedback coming back. And in reality, things aren't always going to go the way you really hope for them to go. And so I think I need to just take a step back and do my best and have a board that helps me do my best and I help them do their best and just be able to accept what happens.
I would say open-mindedness, dedicated or passionate, and my third one would probably be, I guess, optimistic.
My first one would be a family, because I feel like the way to relate how we want CABA and the general membership to feel definitely reflects on how the board is and the board dynamics, and trying to make sure we're all on the same page together and really open and trusting with each other. I think communication is definitely a big thing that board needs to have, along with like that family aspect, being able to talk to each other, as well as each member should have their own ambition and passion in order to make the general members want to go out and do new things with their lives and bring them into, also incorporating them into CABA. I think board members each need to show their passion to the general members.
some of the ideal board would be inclusive, just include everyone, even the new members that like don't have anyone. I would mind to be passionate, just to always put their best into what they are doing. And weird, because I don't know, like being cool is all good and all that, but like being weird is, I feel like, more inviting. If you're like Diane, is really weird. Like she's lost it. But like she's very like.
Okay, so I just feel like I could do a really good job of being treasurer, staying organized, keeping CABA on track, as well as also my big thing is instilling leadership into that position. being on exec board is not just about your position, it's about the people underneath you as well as the general members, and that's something I really want to be able to instill into Kaba.
I just wanted to say Kaba is and was a family to me. And I hope it is to you too. Like, no matter, I hope you vote not based on who's like the most popular, who's the coolest, or if they're friends or not. I hope you base like on what you want Kaba to be, because it's your family and you have a voice in this.
First off, I want to say that regardless of whatever happens, like whoever you decide to choose, like these two are amazing candidates as well. And for me, I guess just thank you for supporting me. And this past year has definitely helped me to grow, and hopefully I can continue to, I guess, bring that to Kaba next year.